Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Samantha Ramnarine and the Car Accident Referral Services Show. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, amazing, and blessed week. Whatever you guys are doing, I hope you guys are ready to party, dance your way into Friday and the weekend. Happy Emancipation Day to Guyana, to Bahamas, to Jamaica. We have so many countries involved in this, and I don't want to miss anybody. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Belize, St. Lucia, Barbados, Jamaica, Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, Guyana, my wonderful country. And of course, you know,
Bahamas.
We'll see, Bahamas. I don't know. Is it Bahamas? See, no, Bahamas. No. When's your Emancipation Day? And Mr. James, when's Haiti Emancipation Day?
Haiti Emancipation Day?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Right.
You Googling? Are both you Googling Bahamas?
Great
You
question,
know?
actually. Well, you know we have to
Happy
shout
be
out
with
242.
you. Oh, my goodness. Haiti Emancipation Day.
Yeah, Haiti Emancipation Day. What's going on?
Okay, the Bahamian Emancipation Day is actually coming up next week on August 4th, on Monday.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad. That's why you're not on my flyer.
We can still shout it out, though, because
January
it's close.
1st. January 1st, first day of the year. Well, I had it confused.
Well, you're a little bit 8 months behind, though.
Emancipation and independence, I guess it's the same thing. Yeah. January 1st.
Yeah, but you're behind.
Behind?
Yeah, because July 1st, August 1st, or sorry, January 1st, August 1st.
It's first. You're behind.
No,
we're
no,
first.
I never saw you. I never saw you posted anything.
Oh, you want to go on my feed? You want to go on my feed?
Yeah, no, that's
go on my feed. Go on my feed.
That's feed. That's
January 1st.
I don't remember where I was January 1st.
I don't either.
I was probably celebrating something.
Yeah, right?
But it wasn't emancipation.
Ha ha! Okay, we got to see about that. I'll tell you. January 1st, we had our soup jumu all over, okay? The best soup you could ever have.
Okay.
And we actually celebrated January 1st on the 12th. And my gosh, right here in Fort Lauderdale, it was awesome. Okay, you don't want to miss that.
See, I'm glad.
Mark your calendar right now for 2026.
2026? Okay, no problem. You know, I'm feeling lucky today. So let's see if we can give out a gift card or two today. Let's take our 7th caller for a $25 gift card to Char Hut. And make sure you guys are texting your name, address, and phone number to 954-249-5858. And listen, and this is a pet peeve. I was actually talking to Courtney today. And it's funny because so many nonprofits, so many charities, so many of my mom groups, you know, Samantha, can you help sponsor this? Samantha, can you buy a table? Samantha, I don't have diapers or wipes for my kid. And all these are going on in a lot of moms groups. And this is what I'm telling you guys. Everybody's hurting right now. And that's why we're doing a pay your bills contest. And all you guys have to do is listen to win. That's all. We call your name. 60 seconds to call into WAVS at 954-792-1170 or 305-948-1170. And those are the same numbers that you guys can call right now. Caller number 7 for $25 Char Hut gift card, 954-792-1170, 305-948-1170. But I want you guys to focus on the pay your bills. So all these people, nonprofits, I love you all. I want to support you all. But you guys got to support us small business too. C.A.R.S is literally, we pay for this show, and I love when people tell me I love your show. You guys are such a breath of fresh air. Your music wants to make me dance. They're like, Samantha, I do not shut off WAVS at all when you come on. They're like, as soon as your show is done, I shut it off. And that, like, listen, it makes me feel so special. I had 4 callers today call me, and they're like, Samantha, you guys are doing amazing. Your co-host, your guest co-host, keep bringing it. You guys are like a melting pot. You got Haiti, Cuban, Guyana, Bahamian, and they even African American. And listen, even they love when Sean takes his shirt off too. And we love that. That's why we at C.A.R.S and you know, our radio show is all about a melting pot. So when we guys are telling you guys to, you know, pay your bills, enter. It can be your grocery bill. It could be your FP&L bill. It can be your water bill. Every little bit helps. Yes. So please make sure you guys are registering. Right, Miss Courtney?
That's right. I mean, I would be calling if I weren't on this show. Guys, get your bills paid. It's free money.
I know. Sean looks at me every time because he was like, why can't I? He's looking at me right now with a dirty look. You can't see him, James, but if you look at him in this station, he was like, why can't I register? It's like my mom and my sister. I'm like, dude, you're my mother and my sister. You cannot enter, but you guys all can. Tell your peoples from Haiti. This helps. You're Bahamian. Come on.
Can I tax in on behalf of New Haiti Fund, my nonprofit?
No.
Is it I'm here. I'm fast tracking.
No.
No?
No, you can't.
Oh, so my people, call in, okay? Call in. I can't take it, but you got to take it for me.
Everyone needs to call in, whether you're Bahamian, Haitian, Guyanese, Cuban, Jamaican. Everybody should call in, even if you're business owners, anyone who's wanting to start something. Every little bit of money counts. So, guys, definitely call in and get your bills paid. We do this every week.
So we're going to go party now, and we're going to have Sean play some really good music for us. Let's go. So you guys dancing, it's funny. Courtney, I see she's getting text messages where people are saying, are you guys going to stop playing music? I want to win something. So you know what? Listen, we don't tell you when we're going to make sure you guys win. We just want to tell you guys, you got to listen to win. That is the whole fun part of Pay Your Bills. Pay Your Bills is you guys have to listen to win. And if anybody, politicians, construction company, insurance company, restaurants, it does not matter, lawyers, doctors, if you guys want to come on WAVS and hang out with us and advertise with us, please call me at 954-249-5858. Nonprofits, if you guys have events going on, so many nonprofits are telling me I can't get ticket sales up. This is what we do, sweetheart. You guys got to come on. And today we actually have a very, very special guest with us. He is a retired football player. He is a author. He is a father. He is an all-around great man. His name is Brandon Bryant, and we're going to have a conversation with him today. So, Courtney and Joanna, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so I just want to know, can you just tell us a little bit more about your journey from the football field to writing children's books?
Yeah. How much time do I have? 'Cause I got a short answer and a long answer, but I'll give the medium length answer, I guess. So yeah, it was something that kind of, inspired me early on in my career. I would say my rookie season, actually, with the Seattle Seahawks. I was talking to a reporter, and he just asked what hobbies I had off the field, and the first thing that came to my mind was writing. And he was like, write a book? I was like, yeah. And then it kind of just stuck with me from there. And it's like, well, it's like one of those things, once you say it out loud, it's like, I actually have to do this. So, 4, 5, 6 years later, COVID happened, and I was, stuck in my home like everyone else in Florida for a couple weeks. And I saw a stat come across one of the news channels I was watching about literacy rates among children and what those negative rates meant. And some of the stats were incarceration, teenage pregnancy, homelessness, and it just went on and on and on and on. And it pretty much, what the news segment said was, just being able to read at an efficient level knocks you out of these categories tremendously. And it popped in my head, like, what? It's a lot of lip service going around during COVID right now, during the pandemic, but it seems like no one's doing anything. So what can I do to help this issue? And I thought, why not write a couple of children's books that children are drawn to? Because I think at the end of the day, us as humans, they always say, you always have that teacher that says, you got kids, they call them the disinterested reader, and the kids always say, I don't like to read. Sorry, reluctant reader. I don't like to read. And the teacher would say, well, no, you just got to find your niche. And the niches aren't really there for everyone. We're all wound up a little differently. We all have different interests and different topics. So, who's to say what one kid will like and what kid won't like? So I think it's just, in our responsibility as writers and as people to develop these projects and these projects and books that kids actually like. So I wanted to take the time to write a wide topics of books that kids would naturally gravitate toward. And the first thing that popped in my mind was sports. I think most kids like sports, especially kids I grew up around and myself. So why not write a book that will attract the child to it? They see the front cover, so you want to be an athlete. They see kids on there having fun. And it's like maybe they'll pick it up on accident because they like the cover or they like the topic, and then before you know it, they're 5 pages in, and then next thing you know, they're asking a parent where more books about this. So that was my goal, and also just to expose children to different careers. So although the first book is So You Want to Be an Athlete, which is a little counterproductive for what my main goal was, because I kind of want to steer kids not away from sports, but to expose them to other career fields than sports. Because if you go into any, I won't say any community, but most communities, you go talk to the kids and they all have, and I don't want to say unrealistic dreams, but dreams that aren't very realistic, I guess, so.
Well, that's more for the ratio, right?
Yeah.
Because there's only so many people that can join a team.
Exactly.
There'll be a lot of very talented people,
yes,
but it narrows down to so many other variables, right?
Yeah.
Your education, honestly, your support system financially, and all these other things. So what you're saying is very valid. I think a lot of kids see people like you. I come from a background in entertainment, so I dealt with a lot of NFL players, NBA, major leagues, reality TV, and there's almost like a fantasy that it's built up because the salaries, right?
Yeah.
But what people don't put in account is that when you become an athlete, that salary, if you were to really break it down to when you're going to retire versus, like you said, other career paths, other opportunities, other things that you're exposed to, then the salaries are almost the same without it being like compressed into these like 4, 5, 8, 10 years.
Yes. And especially for the average player. Like, you got superstars who are making $50, $60 million a year. But, the average, and it's a lot of money, but the NFL league minimum is, right now probably around $900,000 for a rookie. And like you said, it's only going to last 3 years for the average player, maybe 2.5.
And if they don't have that literacy, they don't have that ability to read their contract or to be educated or have financial mentors and people that are going to help them. That's why when you mentioned that you were writing a book and you were an athlete, I kind of love athletes more than a lot of other professions in that world. Like, I'm just being biased right now, right? Because being an athlete, whether that's football, I love baseball players, I'm not going to even lie. The culture of it. You learn win and lose. You learn it's not only about you. Mm-hmm. You hold yourself to a certain physical aspect, right? And then all these components really help you succeed in life, right? Because you apply these things that you did on the field. Like, had it not been maybe for that conversation you had with someone, like, is those experiences that start molding your future. Where if you had not had that conversation because of the position you're in, maybe we wouldn't be sitting here today discussing this.
Exactly. Exactly. And just, as I was saying, just the exposure to different careers, right? So you can only be what you see as a kid, like if you don't have role models and you don't see these things and it's not being placed out there in front of you, you can't, just pull something out of a hat and say,
Absolutely.
I want to be this. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it done. So I wanted to write different books that expose children to different career paths, and ultimately just find a way to expose them and inspire them, because it's a quote that always sticks in my head that I heard from someone a couple years ago: is exposure breeds expansion.
Yeah.
So if you're exposed to something, or maybe you're just exposing yourself, you're getting your name out there, you're exposing different things, and you're seeing different ideas, then eventually, that's what you'll become.
I'll give you another one. So vulnerability brings visibility, because if you're not vulnerable enough to say, and I use myself as an example, I got kicked out of every high school, right? I come from immigrant background. My grandparents were illiterate. My mother's schizophrenic. My father was, did the best he could, right? Dealing with his own trauma, coming to the United States, 16 years old, not knowing the language, the laws, and being homeless. So when I was older, I would resent my family because they didn't prepare me. They didn't teach me the value of education. But it was really more exposure, because how could they have exposed me to this if all they know how to do is write their name on a check? So it took getting older and being vulnerable to have conversations like we're having right now, where if you would have mentioned a word I wasn't familiar, that I can say, can you stop for a second? Because I don't know what that word means. And that's what happens with these kids with reading. They're reading the book. They don't know what certain words mean, and now they feel stupid. And it's like, you're only stupid because you haven't stopped to figure out what that word meant. And now, moving forward, you know what the word means, and now you have the power and the knowledge that you got from the book. Even though you came in a little ignorant, you're leaving now with this information. So I'm just sharing that with you because it takes that. It takes allowing children to have a safe space to be like, I don't understand. And then someone like you be like, well, let me break it down for you first, right? And this is kind of what I mean by that. And you speak to people where you meet them where they're at, right? Because I grew up in C.A.R.S City. So it's like a lot of the people I went to school with, it was like, till this day, I run into them and they're still like operating on a 9th grade level, right? Because of the pride of maybe never, of being defensive, right? Because someone, oh, you're so stupid, you can't read, you know, or whatever. And then they carried that with them into adulthood, and now they're trapped in that.
Exactly.
Because they weren't willing to be like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Pride will get you.
Yes.
So we're talking about inspirations, you know, having that good person there to, you know, lead this generation. Well, what inspired you to even want to be this for the younger generation?
That's a great question. I think there is it goes back. I don't know if you've heard the Charles Barkley said this in like the 80s, whatever, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever.
Wow.
Whatever I'm guessing the 90s, Charles Barkley said
Just stop guessing.
And, it was, back in the day when he first got in the league. And Charles Barkley said, basically, I'm an athlete, I'm not a role model. He took a lot of heat, a lot of pressure for that. And I do agree with him.
I agree with him too, though.
I agree with him.
I'm not even gonna cap.
But I agree with him in the sense that, you are human just like everyone else.
Yeah.
You're not asking for people to live their life how you live their life. You're human, you're imperfect, and you're not telling anyone to do as you do. You're not claiming to be.
Don't endorse my lifestyle.
Yeah, don't endorse
right?
my lifestyle. But when you get to that level, and I see it now more than when I was playing, but these kids literally look up to athletes for no reason other than that you're an athlete.
Yes.
They don't know you, they don't know anything about you, but
it's the success.
It's the success.
The success story, right?
And I think, like I said, I agree with Charles Barkley, but I think there's a greater responsibility within us to help inspire the next generation. And once you get older and you're more mature, and maybe you're retired, or you just see it that these kids actually they will copy everything they see an athlete do. From the way that a superstar celebrates, to what they dress, to what music they listen to how they treat their friends, family, how they treat women, how they treat men, whatever it is. These kids will literally look and try to emulate, a celebrity's lifestyle.
Right. So that's why you wanted to be that inspiration for them, showing them the positive way.
Yeah, showing them the positive way, because there's so much negativity out there. You turn on YouTube and you scroll on Instagram, and these kids they have the same algorithms we have. They get on Twitter and they see the same nonsense, the same crazy stuff that we see. And how can they decipher what's right and what's wrong? They can only see who the people that they admire and what they're doing and understand what they want to do. So I think it's just our responsibility as adults to leave the world in a better place than we found it, and give the kids something positive to see. No one's saying that we're perfect or what, but you have a lot of power. So you as a professional athlete, you as a celebrity, you as whatever, a role model in the community, if you give a child a book, they are much more likely to listen to you and read that book than they are their own parents. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
You
can't be a preacher in your own house.
Tell them the name of your book again before we go to a break.
Yeah, so my first book is So You Want to Be an Athlete, and my second book is Can I Pet That Dog?
And where can they find you on social media?
So my personal page is El Sacco, EL_SACKO, and my business page is Brandon's Books.
Brandon's Books, I like that.
Also brandonsbooks.com is the website that will take you everywhere you need to go.
Well, we'll get back to a few more details after this music break.